Who would have guessed that LeBron Raymond James Jr. was going 55th to the Lakers? Almost everybody, I think. Anybody that watches ball, I think, was thinking that. Other than the haters, I don't know why they would hate on my glorious king like that, because he's got a plan. LeGM has got a plan, you know what I'm saying? He's already got Bronny, he's acquired one piece, you know what I'm saying? Now we just gotta wait for Bryce. Halfway joking with that, we're still kind of just waiting on Bronny's career to pan out, you know what I'm saying? He's got a lot of work to do. A lot of motherfuckers didn't think he deserved to be in the NBA, even though, one, there's hella nepotism everywhere, especially the NBA. And two, he would have made it farther than most of the niggas saying he shouldn't even been drafted in the first place. So, invalid argument. But yeah, like I said, LeGM, he's got a plan, you know what I'm saying? He's restructuring his contract. He got Bronny on his team. And Bryce is 2-3 years away from, you know what I'm saying? Especially if he goes one and done. Because Bronny shouldn't have went one and done. But he did. And he's on the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Probably not being on that. I know y'all seen the RDC skit. He not going on no G League. Like, he gonna be on the roster. Like, he damn near might take D-Lo's spot. Shout out RDC, bro. I love their content. Bron got his homie the coaching position over motherfuckers that are definitely more qualified. He got his son drafted. What makes you think he not getting his other son drafted? I know he talked about owning expansion teams and all that other shit. Like, for sure he could do that. But that's later on, you know what I'm saying? He only 40, you know what I'm saying? So, like, in his 50s, 60s, he could definitely coach. 70s, 80s, then he can be an owner. A lot of motherfuckers are comparing Bronny to his teammate, 6'1" guard, Boogie Ellis. Like, they're damn near the same build, but bro had way more points. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just better stats. 6'1", 200 pounds. Like, that's a football build. And that's my point of the video today, really. Like, Bronny was saying that he kind of wants to step away from his dad a little bit and not be known as, like, LeBron Jr. and be Bronny, you know what I'm saying? Because he was talking about his phase contract. If he didn't get drafted, he probably going to do that regardless, you know what I'm saying? Because that's free money for him. This is the easy path because LeBron got it all set out for him. LeGM. He got him drafted, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he's a shit athlete, because obviously he's not. 6'7" wingspan, he's got a vertical. He can play defense. He's not a scrub at basketball, and he's athletic. So, like, to say he couldn't play wide receiver is crazy, because if we compare him to Brendan Rice, again, motherfuckers may argue a nepotism draft, but he was drafted in, like, the 4th round or some shit like that. And, like, again, very similar build to Bronny. A little bit taller, 6'3", 210. Whether we're talking about Brendan Rice on the football field or Boogie Ellis on the basketball court, it's like, do you really think Boogie Ellis is a better basketball player than Bronny James? Again, hats off to Boogie Ellis. He still got onto a roster, and hopefully he balls out. I'm not saying he's a shit athlete either, but it's like, we gotta think about who we're comparing now, because I know plenty 6'3" athletes that can't dunk. 6'1", 6'2" range, and can dunk easily, two-hand, windmill, reverse, oops, all types of shit, and he's a skilled basketball player. So it's not impossible for me to think, okay, if the basketball shit doesn't work out, LeGM's plan falls apart or whatever happens, and so he's like, shit, let me think of my own, you know what I mean? Let me step away from LeBron James Jr. and let me get Bronny, you know what I'm saying? Let me be Bronny. So he takes the hard route and tries to make it into the NFL, you know what I'm saying? It could be pretty impossible, very unlikely, but it's a cool outcome to think about. Just like it's a cool outcome to think about LeBron playing with all his sons and coaching and doing all, because he got his son for a reason. He's obviously still playing at a high level because he wants to win a ring. He's obviously got a plan. He's training in the offseason with his son, so it's like one of them's on the team, it makes sense, but the other one's still yet to go to college, I believe. And when you really think about it, Bronny versus Bryce, I don't want to say Bryce is a better basketball player, but Bryce is like 6'6" at 16 years old. I think Bronny at 16 was like 6'4", 6'5". So, like, bro definitely got some growing to do. Even if he stops at 6'6", he's taller than Bronny. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's not impossible they all three play together. It's really just up to Bron staying healthy, but it's Bronjevity, LeGM. He's locked in. This shit gonna work. Anyway, Bronny to Brendan Rice. You know what I'm saying? Brendan Rice, 4th round pick. Maybe got a little help because his dad's the greatest receiver of all time. Kind of like how LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all time. He's going to be the greatest GM of all time. He's going to be the greatest coach of all time. And he's just going to beat out MJ in every stat, really, ever. So, the GOAT. But Brendan Rice, in the 2023 season, had about 65 yards per game. He had 791 receiving yards, 45 receptions, 12 touchdowns. That's not, like, bad at all, but it's also not super great. He also had one of the best quarterbacks, or the best quarterback in the draft. So the only thing different, we touched on it in the last video, is like the stamina wise. Like, for sure, basketball players have stamina, but you're running longer distance. You're making more cuts and jukes, and you got to break tackles, which is a lot harder than moving through contact in basketball because it's not full contact. Few things he'd have to pick up. Receiver probably has the least amount of responsibility when it comes to the playbook, so you know what I'm saying, he could do it. He could do it 2-3 years. He'd be what, 22, 23 years old? That's about the time he's going to be a star on a basketball court. So, like, he going to play because his dad is on the team. But for him to really get good, it's going to take 2-3 years. So, I don't think it's impossible for him to take 2-3 years, go back to USC because he has eligibility, and get his degree. You know what I'm saying? Make sure his backup plan is solid because, like I said, this is the hard road. He get it on his own. He step away from his dad a little bit, his dad's plan, and make his own plan. You know what I'm saying? You got the phase contract, like he said. He could do his solo mission and go back to USC and try to make the NFL or something. Because if that don't work, his dad's still probably coaching or he owns a team, so he could probably go back at 25 years old and play, you know what I'm saying, pro basketball. It's not the end of the world because training in football, shit, you can still get shots up in basketball. The only reason basketball players don't play football in the offseason is because they could get hurt or, like, train football. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I brought up Bronny going back to USC and playing in the NFL is because he's going to have a lot of work to do to play efficiently in the NBA regardless. So it's like that comparison between, would it be harder for him to be a star in the NBA with him already being in the NBA with his dad and everything going on? Or would it even be logical for him to go back and try to pick up a new sport for 2-3 years and go pro in another sport? For receivers in the NFL, you got to be running that fast or else you got to be crazy with the routes. So it's like, that's why I feel like he could pick it up. If you could learn to be a crafty route runner at 6'1.5" with a crazy vertical, it's like, bro, you have a spot somewhere on that team. But right now for him in the NBA, it's like he don't really have a spot for real. Like, if he did move up from the G League in half a season, like, he'd be like the 8th man type shit. Play defense, hit open shots. That's all you got to do. But when you have LeBron on your team, you can do that. So, like, for him to stand on his own 2 legs, let's say Let's say Project LeGM doesn't work out, and Bronny's got to stand on his own 2 feet. I feel like it'd be harder for Bronny to stand on his own 2 feet in the NBA. He'd have to do more to be able to become that all-star or whatever, stand on his 2 feet in the league, versus him just to switch sports. And I don't think it's pussy either, because football would be harder. You got 2-3 years to learn, and now is go time. I'm basically trying to create another Bo Jackson, a Deion Sanders, another alternate universe where, you know what I'm saying, we get exciting sports content again, because a lot of this shit is just sports betting and just some goofy weirdo shit, you know what I'm saying? Sports are still a good time. You know, I love football, I love basketball, but basketball with the in-season tournament and a lot of the bullshit they do, it's not enjoyable until really the end of the season and the playoffs and whatnot. So that's just my opinion, though. Let me know if you agree with me down in the comments down below. If you think I'm a fucking idiot, bronzesexual, also let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, you can eat my dick. It's been the Ball Watcher, and I'll see y'all later. Peace, love, joy, gamers.
It's Tuesday somewhere, so you know what that means. It's Taco Tuesday!